After hinting that he might not be on the Sixers in the future, Embiid went on cleanup mode, tweeting, "We're in this together forever, 5 days." He then replied to someone criticizing his comments with Buddy, check my middle name, which is Troel. Later adding, "I've lost my place as best troll here, though. It went to Daryl Morey." Kendrick Perkins with us for this. Hi, Perk. All right, Perk, let me ask you this. Is Embiid, I need you to break down, translate NBA speak for me. Is Embiid sending a message here, or is he just trolling and having fun?
Oh, absolutely, he's sending a message. And look, sometimes the truth lies within jokes, okay? And here's the thing. The Philadelphia 76ers better take this as a warning because Joel Embiid, like all of us, are growing tired. Every single season, he's coming into the season with some type of drama. Whether it was the Ben Simmons drama, the James Harden drama, now again, James Harden again. At what point is he going to get tired? And I think right now he's sending a message, and it wasn't just the beginning of what he said during that interview. It was towards the end, the back part of it as well, when he said it takes good people around you, meaning get the right pieces, and also the organization got to make sure they're doing the right things. And so if I'm the front office of the Philadelphia 76ers, there's no way in hell I'm taking this lightly. And they shouldn't.
They should have heard it loud and clear, because I didn't see this as Joel Embiid inciting panic within the 76ers fan base. I'm with you, Perk. I don't think he has his eye on the exit or he's looking towards going somewhere else. We know he has a couple years left on his contract. The Philadelphia 76ers have absolutely zero incentive to trade him. But this is a message, whether veiled or actually like him saying it directly to the front office, that they need to figure out this situation with James Harden. We know they are not a better roster if Harden is not on it. Joel Embiid, publicly and privately, has said that he prefers for James Harden to be a part of the 2023-24 Philadelphia 76ers. They can't take a step back. They can't take a gap year. They can't afford it, frankly, with Joel Embiid at 29 years old, very much in his prime, coming off the MVP season. So I think that this is maybe like lukewarm. It's not saying like red alert right now, the Philadelphia 76ers are in hot water, but Daryl Morey needs to make sure he can somehow make amends with James Harden, the one who put in James Harden's mind that he is a max player. That's where that thought process came from. And get him back in the fold, have him stand down from his trade request of wanting to go to the Los Angeles Clippers, to stay here and to keep your MVP happy. Because if they end up not having James Harden in the fold this year, then those comments that Joel Embiid made on the stage with Mav Carter might actually carry more weight 12 months from now if he actually is going to put the request out there that he wants to be somewhere else.
The question we have to ask ourselves, Courtney, is this. Why do the 76ers keep losing players, right? We go all the way back to Jimmy Butler, and I get it, right? They basically chose Tobias Harris over Jimmy Butler because every moment Jimmy Butler get a chance, he reminds us of it. Secondly, why did Ben Simmons want out so badly? And I know people could look at Ben Simmons right now, and we could talk about how his game have went on a downward slope. But at the end of the day, when Ben Simmons was on the Philadelphia 76ers, he was an all-NBA caliber player. And so now all of a sudden, James Harden is playing alongside a guy that just led the league in scoring for 2 consecutive seasons. Won the MVP. These two was outside of Jamal Murray and Jokic. It wasn't a better duo for us in the two-man game. They mastered the pick and roll together. Whether it was pick and roll, pick and pop, whatever the case may be, why players are rushing to get out of Philly and not want to be in Philadelphia? That is a problem.
It is, and it makes me wonder what Daryl Morey is selling players behind the scenes. I know you and I talked about this, right? After free agency started and we saw the movement, and then James Harden still sitting there, hasn't been traded after opting into his player option. Feels like he's been sold a bill of goods that this team is not willing to live up to their end on. And at the end of the day, all of it affects the MVP. This is a message, this is a direct message to the front office that you better nail it with whatever's happening behind the scenes right now to James Harden, because eventually the process might be wanting to get out of the process. I don't think he's bailing on it right now, but this is pressure on the front office to try to do something to get James Harden a little bit happier, maybe with the situation. Obviously, playing on a deal that's $36.5 million, it sets him up for free agency next year. It's not awful in theory, but for James Harden, he feels slighted. He feels disrespected. Find a way to smooth that thing over. So at this point next year, you're not in a situation where you're trying to figure out how all these pieces disbanded and you ended up losing a James Harden and a Joel Embiid.
We got to roll, but real quick, how do you think this is all going to play out?
I don't know. It's on Daryl Moore, Molly. And if Daryl Moore don't figure out a way to go all in, like the Phoenix Suns did this past offseason or have done, then just blow it up. Just blow it up. If you're not going to go all in, you have the contracts, you have the bodies to move to actually make a push and go land an all-star caliber player like maybe a Pascal Siakam. Tobias Harris is coming up on the expiring contract. If you're not going to go all in and try to compete to win now, especially to please Joel Embiid, a guy that's a big 7 foot, 275 to 80 pound guy that's had an injury history, he don't have too much of a prime left. So if you're not going to go all in around him, blow the whole thing up.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.